Much. As I was so kindly presented, I am Dragana Vučković and I currently work at the Ljudska Univerza, Murska, Sobota. That means Adult Education Center, and it is centered in Murska, Sobota, which is a one tiny little city in Slovenia. We are a small country, around 2 million people, but we bring more and more to the adult education. And I personally felt that it is so important for us, adult educators, for all around the world to come together, to share our experiences or thoughts, and to possibly change something for the better. I will today represent a non-formal adult education. Just a moment, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. I will represent all the non-formal adult educations. This is a lesser known and awfully forgotten about branch of the educational system, but we are so important while we empower the little people, so to say, and we try to bridge that gap between the formal education systems and the people's needs that occurs every day, and it is different from time to time, so we cannot address that properly or quickly enough with the formal education system. So today I will present an overview of an adult education system and through the experience of my institutions, from its past, from its present, and from its future, because we must know from where we are coming from, where we are now, and what can be possibly done in the future. So education, what is that? Education is something for the most of people that starts when we are little. We go to school or kindergarten or something like that. We finish all the schoolings we want to finish, and then that's that, period. But it is not. Education is a lifelong process. It's a dynamic process. It is essential for the person and for the society, because more empowered we are as a person, as an individual, more we can bring to the society itself, to our society. So adult education is that branch, that continuing of the educational system. But here today, as far as I could tell, the most adult educators came from the universities. I came from the adult education center, which is small and not so important and not so recognized, but I come from the practice. I come directly from the practice with the people, with their needs, and we try to bridge the national programs, the national assessments that we are given, and to somehow bring those to the people, to give those people what they need in the frames of the national frameworks. So in that way, I am saying that adult education is playing a central role in the person's life, although we are not recognizing it so, because it is everything that we learn through our life. And that is why we are calling it lifelong experience. First of all, I must present those facts that we recognize 3 types of adult education. Formal, that means colleges, universities, high schools, and everything that is so formal, that has prepared curriculum. And we are following that. It has degrees, it is certified. You can finish it and you become something, some title. So that is the formal part. Non-formal part includes learning in community centers, the learning at the workplace, or at the different programs. So that means that it's outside the traditional system, and it is still organized while we offer the organized courses that has some beginning and end and something in the middle. So it is intentional. The participant must want to include themselves in those programs. And we also recognize the informal learning. That means that all the knowledges that we pick up during the life, regardless, is it from the different life experiences or conversations or medias or self-study, if you choose to do so. Today it is very popular, especially with AI, as someone has said today, or Duolingo or something like that. It is something that we ourselves include in our lives and use it to educate ourselves. But it is unintentional for most of the part, and it is unstructured. So we are doing it by ourselves. Our focus, my focus today is on non-formal education, because I work in such an organization, and we evolved from the bringer of the second chance to the people who didn't finish their formal education. We evolved to be one regional hub for the second chance education and all the continuings that one person can have in life and want to educate itself on a different way. So, to understand fully where we come from, where we are today, we must understand also where we come from. And I will try to be brief with these boring facts and history. But it is important to say that origins of adult educations goes far back, even to the Egypt or Greece or Rome, because one can say that even the education itself started from the adult education, because once upon a time there were no children in school. There were adults who educated themselves when they came to that level or had the opportunity to do so. As all of us know, in the history, the right to educate itself belonged to the few people, not to all. And I feel so blessed that we are here today in those times that education is so much closer to all of the people and it is easier accessible in all of its forms. In the age of the Middle Ages and the age of Renaissance brought the religious schools and trade apprenticeships. That means that printing press made it more acceptable to the people, but still the knowledge was reserved for the elites. We are still in those educational dark times. The Age of Enlightenment, as the name itself says, and the Industrial Revolution especially, brought that. The Gutenberg pressing machine brought that to the wider population, that made it possible to form those evening schools. And I will stand one thing, I will point out to the Volkshochschulen in Germany, because they are most famous adult educational centers in Europe, maybe worldwide also. And Volkshochschulen in Germany and Ljudska Univerza in Slovenia has so many similarities. We are so similar because we both are made for the people, to bring the education to the people, to eradicate illiteracy at the beginnings. And our differences are mainly in our roots, beginnings, first steps, so to say, baby steps. and also in the ways of funding all the governments. So today, Volkshochschulen and Ljudska Univerza in Slovenia still have those similarities, and we copy sometimes. So to say a better expression is we implement the examples of the good practice in our work too, or try to do so. It is still very hard to do it while the system is so rigid and strict. And we educators need freedom, need flexibility, need possibilities. And we are lacking that. But that will come later on. And of course, digital era brought the online learning, which is today more and more popular. And we are struggling, I must say, to implement that in our everyday life, because Murska Sobota is the one, as I was saying, as one small little town in the little country of Slovenia, and we are a rural area. That means that we have less educated population. I'm sorry, so we have to bring first the digitalization in our region, then to educate the people to use it, then to educate ourselves also on everyday basis, how to be a step ahead of them. We are struggling to have good and quality teachers who will bring those programs to the people and who will try to communicate with them in the method that they understand. As my predecessor has elaborated, the older people also have boundaries, they have less experiences with those digital skills, and we are trying to overcome that altogether. So, what was happening in Slovenia during all those dark ages and light ages in the Europe and world? The first official literacy beginnings began in the Enlightenment period. At those times, Slovenia was under Austro-Hungarian rule, and we had first parish schools. Focus was merely on basic literacy for the adults and nothing more. As you can see, that is a little picture of Slovenia. It's like a chicken. And where the Murska Sobota would be somewhere at the eye of the chicken. And excuse me my expression, the lower part of the chicken are the borders with Italy. So we are here, the neighbor country. But what I was wanting to say that in those times we had merely the basic parish schools, the basic literacy. The population itself was illiterate. So then came the Yugoslavia. Maybe some of you have heard of it, maybe not, but that was the federal congregation of 6 countries that come together and formed Yugoslavia from the World War II to the 1991, when the Slovenia has won its independence. And during those times, the adult education did become the state priority. The state recognized that potential and the need for the more educated workforce, but those were really the small steps. The big thing that happened in that period was the roots for the Ljudska Univerza that has come to life. That idea came to life. The first Ljudska Univerza were established and started to grow, but the first name was Delavska Univerza. That means Workers' University. So the name itself reflected what we do. Bring merely the education to the workers so they can do better job and we can use them better. It wasn't the goals that we have today to really help the people really change their life in any matter possible. that was just merely, oh, I can use you better when you know a little bit more. So then after the Yugoslavia, we came to the post-1991 period where the Slovenia, as I was saying, that had its independence, and we started to grow. We started to align with the EU integrations. We started to implement those democratic values. And we established one important institution, that is the Slovenian Institute for Adult Education in 1991. And that institution exists even today. And even today, they are guiding us and all together with the ministerials who are funding us. So today, we are coming to that, and our chicken has more and more dots. All those dots, and even some of them are too small to be on that map, represent the Ljudska Univerza in Slovenia. We have over 30 of them that are working today. What is the main reason for so decentralized way of work? Because we are the most part rural regions. And to reach to those rural people, you must be there. You cannot sit in the Ljubljana, in the capital, and reach out to the little people, so to say, in the Pomurje, because Dragana is in the middle, as maybe you can see, and the Murska Sobota, for example, is in the I part. That is the 200 kilometers distance, and you cannot just overcome that. You cannot ask of people to come to your courses 200 kilometers away. You must be there. So we are small, we are decentralized, but we are doing our best for the people. We are really trying to bring the education to them. Today, all of these Ljudska Univerzas are working as regional hubs. We are offering flexible, short-term and demand-driven educations. So that means that we are tailoring our offerings for the needs of people, for the needs of the labor market, for the needs of the employers. We listen to them and try to answer to those needs as quickly as possible. It's not very much possible always, but we are doing our best. Okay, so this is my institution, Ljudska Univerza Murska Sobota. We are founded in 1960, so we have over 60 years of continuous service. And we've transitioned from this rural literacy bringers, as I was saying, to the inclusive lifelong learning center. We offer programs for digital literacy, media literacy, entrepreneurship, cognitive skills development, and so on. And we are very strong in our region. There exists even smaller institutions, non-government organizations, etc., but we try to connect with them because we believe in this motto, together we can do it. We must combine our strength and our resources to bring everything we can to the people. We cannot do it alone. So what will happen tomorrow? I could tell you 100 examples of what is happening today. For example, another day I was at the last day of the English course. To say hello, to ask them how they have felt, and we have from the retired persons to the persons that are in the middle 20s. So that is a very heterogeneous group, very mixed up. Also, the formal knowledge is also mixed up, but they were all happy. They were all satisfied. They come together. That means that we are bringing also the generations together. We are filling that intergenerational gap. And I think that is very important, because only in that manner we can have strong societies, strong communities when we help each other, when we share knowledge, when we are together in all of that. But to do so, we must change some things. We must have stable fundings. That is the thing that bothers us the most. And I believe that some of you have the same issues, because the governments are not following the needs so quickly as it should be. With the stability in fundings, we could do more. Because currently we are projectly oriented. We are projectly funded. That means that when one project is concluded, then there's nothing until the next one came. So we must do more on the recognition of the importance of adult education, of non-formal aspects of adult education, because even when one person learned, I don't know, we had also the Hungarian course with a lady who is 89 years old, and that was advanced Hungarian course, but she was so happy to be there. She could hear well. The professor said, oh, her hearing is super, she can stay. So she was there, she was happy, she did something with her life that made her happy. And that is the most precious thing for us as the adult educators. And that is the thing that we are living for. But we must work on those fundings to be able to do so. We must work on the more and more recognized picture of us in the present. And we must work also more on that recognition of non-formal outcomes. Because not every outcome is recognized by the official papers or the employers or the organizations, and it should be. So I already said that. I will just add that we are also obligated to do more on that digital and blended models that currently still lack at our institutions, but that also demands from us to do more, not merely to ask for the government to do more, but our time and effort must be there also. So I will conclude with one thought that I found, and I should conclude, yeah, I'm sorry. With the one thought that I found so empowering for me, we are connectors between generations, past, future, between policy and practice. And we must continue to do so. So thank you very much for listening to me. I was honored to present my work here today, even though I went in the other courses that I planned, but I think that I said everything that I really wanted to say, and I look forward to the questions.